Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to this episode of Root and Route, the African Islamic Tapestry. Today on Root and Route, we take a closer look at a conversation that's long overdue: how religion is being used as a tool of control, especially in marriages, and how we as a community can help restore balance, dignity, and emotional safety to the Muslim home. In many Muslim homes today, women are praised for their patience, endurance, and silence. But silence is not always peace, and endurance is not always faith. Across communities, too many Muslims are enduring emotional neglect, manipulation, and spiritual gaslighting behind closed doors, while being told this is the price for righteousness. But Islam came to liberate, not suppress. It came to elevate, not erase. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam uplifted women with love, with compassion and mercy. He listened to them, he served them, and he valued them. So how did we go from a prophetic mercy to quiet suffering, from shared partnership to one-sided sacrifice? And to discuss this with me today, inshallah, is Sister Tawakalitu. She's a mother, a healthcare practitioner who advocates for emotionally healthy, Islamically sound marriages, and I've also lived through the very topic we're about to discuss today. So without further ado, let's get straight into the conversation. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Tawakalitu.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Brother Yusuf.
Thank you so much for joining us and agreeing to do this.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
It's good. That's good. I follow you online, as you know, and I follow a lot of your content, which, of course, is the reason we are here today. And hopefully, inshallah, we'll be able to get a very comprehensive perspective of your experience, more of the lessons, so that we can help people and help ourselves in our marriages. So, to get things started, in your experience as a Tawakalitu, why do you think so many Muslim women today are struggling with emotional neglect and spiritual suppression within marriage? And yet they feel guilty for even naming it. Why do you think this is the case?
So, personally, for me, this session, I would like it to be a form of self-introspection for we ladies, to my ladies out there. I really want us to focus more on ourselves. It shouldn't be like blaming someone, because of course it is convenient to blame men, religion, society, and all. But I will go in this way, like I will take this approach. For we women, we have this false sense of self about ourselves as women. You as a woman, you don't feel within yourself that you are a complete whole human being. We treat ourselves as half human. So, example, a man approaches a woman, or a man like approaches a woman for marriage, and the man came to you and be like, oh, I'm a divorcee. So the reason I divorced the first woman that my previous marriage ended was because the woman is not submissive. And the man approaches you to be like, I want a submissive woman. So I will ask you as a woman that what do you define as submission? Because I would say without a doubt, somebody that is telling you to submit yourself, the person is telling you to submit your life to him. There is no way they might sugarcoat it and be like, no, I'm not looking for a slave master relationship, but it's all false. Because this person is telling you to hand over your willpower to him. And you as a woman that you already have a false sense of self, you will be like, self-sacrifice. Maybe that's what Allah wants for me on the surface of it, of this earth. Because we women, we believe, we internalize this thing within ourselves as if the only thing that is meant for us that we are worthy of on this earth is just crumbs. Like, we don't view ourselves as full human being that deserves grace, that deserves excuses, that deserves nurturing, care, mercy. So we believe so much in self-sacrifice. So that man came to you now, he approaches you with such non-submissive, whatever narrative. and you started internalizing that, okay, a submissive woman. So it will tell you to hand over your willpowerness, no matter how. Because somebody that is seeking something that will make you less human. So you might be like, báwo ni submissiveness máa ṣe jẹ́ less human? Yes, because if you are handing over your willpowerness, there will be no sense of self-agency and self-agency, self-autonomy. It won't be there. You are not viewing yourself as all human being, as an adult person. You believe whatever it is you want to do, it should come from the person's perspective. Whether you are fine with it or not, you are suppressing your own thoughts, your own desire, your own inner feeling, that thing that you feel inside of you. So you are seeing yourself less. You believe, oh, I'm a woman, I cannot rationalize less. Women have approached me and I'm like, you are just lying to yourself. So a man telling you to submit to him and telling you that the reason why his previous marriage ended was because the woman was not being submissive. So you now, he came to you, he approaches you with such, and you feel you getting married to that man, because in your head you might think that maybe that is what Allah wants for you. Allah wants from you to be responsible to the man, not even to be responsible for him. You are supposed to be responsible for yourself and to yourself. But what you owe him is to be responsible to him, not even responsible for him. Because the moment you want to try to be responsible for him, you start nagging him. Because this is someone you want him to see you. You want him to see you from your own perspective. But already he thinks he's above you, he's superior, because somebody's telling you to submit yourself to him, like submission, control, authority, those things. That person is already, wallahi, some be like Muslim men. They will use sentences like obìnrin tí ò bá ti lè gbọ́ control, authority, mini God, those things, ego. What you are battling with is ego. So you think there is a particular way you want to mold yourself, or you want to frame yourself to like fit in into that kind of setting with peace. It can't happen, because what you are doing, what you will be doing when you are going into such marriage is self-sacrifice, and there can never be way you will be giving up your willpower, and resentment won't set in. Resentment marshall, because you are not operating in your own self, in your own wholeness. So we women already, for us to be picked, for us to go into marriage or to settle with, like some women will even feel being single or being without a man as punishment. So we tend to we audition to be picked. See, auditioning doesn't necessarily mean that oh yeah, come and marry me. No. Maybe I'm looking for, no. The moment we are being approached with marriage like this, we tend to lose our guard. Anything that makes us human, our sense of being, we drop it. Immediately, we started viewing ourselves from that person's perception, from that person's narrative, whatever narrative that they bring. So we tend to define our own worth from the value that they are willing to give us. How can it ever be healthy? And particularly, I am saying this to we Muslim women, the so-called good Muslim women. We lack sense of autonomy, sense of agency, sense of ownership. It is lacking for us, because what we are doing, we believe self-sabotage, self-sacrifice, self-suppressing is what makes us good. But what we are actually doing is that we are crossing our own boundaries. At the end of the day, resentment setting for us. We hate ourselves. We now be like, àbí nǹkan tọ́lọ̀, àbí ilé ayé yìí nǹkan tọ́lọ̀ kúkú ilé ayé ẹsẹ̀ mẹ́fà, ilé ayé ọkùnrin náà. No, you made it so, because misplaced priority is already happening to us. We don't know what we want. So how do you expect that somebody coming from the external to come and give us what we want? So the example I gave about submission, whatever, it is a common thing for Muslim men to approach you with that. They will talk about submission, talk about control, and they will say, even if the man is not doing his part, at least you shall do your part. No, you should know what you want. You can never submit to someone without giving up your sense of agency, sense of ownership to the person. You will always give your willpowerness, and that willpower is what makes you human. Stop treating yourself like less human, because now a man will transgress. They will call it shortcoming. If I use my own example now, in my own marriage, what should I say? Like, I experienced sexual abuse, verbal abuse. I experienced those things. And to this man till today, if you ask him what he will diminish my experiences with him to, will be kò control. You can imagine the sense of cruelty and the audacity for him to relegate all that experiences to control. Because to them, to people like him, life should revolve around him. So if you don't define what your shortcomings, what you can tolerate, what you cannot tolerate, what do you want for yourself, what can you sacrifice? When I talk about sacrifice like you emptying your bank account or your pocket for someone, or you staying by someone that is sick, that's different. I'm talking about what makes you human. So we women, we tend to position ourselves as if we are not even full. We don't give ourselves excuses. Men will make several excuses for themselves, because my ex, he do give himself excuses and be like, shebi mo bear. And to me, it is something I can never, like, I don't know, I can never tolerate it. It is transgression to me, but to him it is like shortcoming. But we women will be the one, mama, we condemn ourselves. We don't give ourselves grace. A man will think it is okay for him to go abandon his children and come back, and society will be like, shebi baba wọn náà ni. But if it is to be the woman, lots of bashing. Even you the woman yourself, you will hate yourself. We don't give ourselves grace because we don't view ourselves as full functioning human. Men, they see themselves as like whole. That is why they create chance for excuses to like give them, they have so much grace for themselves. So we Muslim women, when we go into marriage with this sense of with this false sense of self, lots of self-sabotaging will be happening. We suppress ourselves. Maybe fear of abandonment, or fear of, I don't know, fear of abandonment, fear of at least ṣàwa ní marry náà ni, ṣé mo ṣáà lọ́kọ. Your at least is still nothing at the end of the day, because you can never suppress yourself in a space and resentment won't set in. So now when you go into marriage with this mindset of false sense of, that is why I use this submissive or whatever example. I believe in you being responsible to someone. Be responsible to your partner. That is the healthy thing. And it is high time our sheikhs too, they will start speaking up whether submission is from Islam, that a woman should give herself. Because what these Muslim men, what your Muslim men are telling women out there is to give up themselves for them to feel good, to feel seen. The moment you say, I can't give up my career, I can't give up, like, there is nothing I'm doing wrong, I just can't tolerate what you are doing, they will start tagging you, feminism, modern woman, modern this, just to deflect, because they refuse to be responsible. They can't be accountable. They hate calling out. They believe the world should revolve around them. So when you go into marriage with this narrative, there is no way you will not suppress yourself in that marriage. And already, because and a woman that has a false sense of self is operating from the male perspective. So when you are in that marriage, any form of transgression that is happening to you, you will find a way in your brain to condition yourself and be like, spiritualize it for yourself and be like, you ní sùúrù ṣáà lọ́lọ́run bá wa. Ọlọ́run bá ò fẹ́ yẹn. Your creator don't want that for you. Wallahi, it is not from Allah. It is your own mind, your own weakness that is making you think that is what Allah wants from you. Allah can never want for you to be in a place that you feel less of yourself. You are not even connecting with yourself, because there is no self-connection happening there, just self-erasure. You putting yourself down to stay in a place that you are not even needed. Because a man that truly wants you will make the space livable for you. It will make it a space that allows you to thrive, not a place that survival mode. So when you spiritualize it, you will know you you won't be able to speak up, because you'll be like, come and tag mi ní obìnrin tí ò dáa. You don't want the tags. You feel like, ṣé mi ò wá try tó ni? You start second guessing yourself. You guilt trip yourself. Allah doesn't want that for you. Speak up if you need to. Marriage is not hard. It's not difficult. The people involved are the ones making it hard. If one party feel as if his ego has to be massaged, and the other person believe, I should be responsible, do my part, and that's true. It is okay. So the moment you try to like self-sacrifice, you are crossing the boundaries already. So you are telling that person that it's okay for you to transgress, so you don't need to be responsible. I will be at the receiving end. I can always be the sacrificial lamb. That is what you are saying, because already you are giving up on yourself. And once you are giving up on yourself, the person too, what do you expect the person to give you? Because you are not being fair with yourself. You are treating yourself like you don't matter. So we Muslim women, we are so overly fixated on this idea of, good woman. What defines you as a good woman? Your character development, go into character development and know what makes you a good person, not from from the other person's part, especially a male perspective. If you define yourself as a woman from the male perspective, it can never be healthy for you. Because what most of them are looking for, they are looking for somebody that will tolerate their transgression, that won't call them out for it. That is why they say something like, a confident woman, a bold woman, and a dependent woman cannot make a good marriage. It is only a submissive woman. And their definition of submissiveness will mean a woman that cannot stand up for herself, that doesn't speak up, that tolerates their insults. Imagine. That is what they define as a good woman. And what that means is someone that is willing to give up on herself for them to feel good about themselves. So, sorry, Brother Yusuf. So, if you go into marriage with that narrative, there is no way you will suppress yourself. And it will even be hard for you to name it, because already you are self-sabotaging. You are self-sabotaging.
Okay.
And you will be like, ṣé tí bá sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí ṣé mi ní ba nǹkan jẹ́? So false sense of self is there for we. I'm talking about the good one. See, there are some sisters that they don't care. Ó ṣe kò ṣe, and seriously, they even enjoy in those marriages compared to with this good girl syndrome that lack boundaries. How are you a good person? You claim to be an empath and you lack boundaries with yourself, and people don't even respect your boundaries from the external. So I want Brother Yusuf to talk.
You're the one doing the talking today, Sister Tawakalitu, so I'm here to listen, and hopefully we're able to
guess
learn
you
one
want
or
to
two
say
things from you.
something.
I just have a bit of clarification to make. You are making some assertions in terms of your understanding of what submission means to Muslim men. I think people who will be watching this in future may argue to say, that's your experience. I am submissive to my husband and I'm enjoying
They are
it.
not.
And it did not.
They are not. They are not submitting nothing. It's just a way for them to feel good. They are not submitting. They are not submitting. See, if you are submitting to your husband, if you as a woman, you are career oriented, and the man comes in and be like, mi ò fẹ́ kó lọ sí school. If you be like, èmi á lọ school ò kì í ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ now. It is not haram for me to be career oriented or have job or whatever. In that case, you are not submitting. You are not. What you are doing is that you are negotiating. Back and forth. Submission The meaning of submission is that you are willing to give up yourself. Kò sí questioning, you don't question. So, and that is what I'm saying, that this submission, where did it come from? That we are now using it in our own faith, this Islamic faith that we are practicing. How did it come into? Because you can never submit to someone and start saying, o fẹ́ question ẹni yẹn, because tó bá sọ pé kó má lọ sí school, kò ń ṣàrọ̀m, kò pẹ́ sójú ọ̀nà kan tí ò dáa now. It's not leading you to hellfire. Because if you want to use this narrative, as long as he's not calling you to disobey Allah, he's not calling you to disobey Allah, but he's telling you to give up something that is important to you. Are you willing to? Or your business or whatever, are you willing to? So they are not submitting. They are just women that are fortunate that whatever it is that they want to do, the husbands are willing to, like, okay, share now. Share. The husband agreed with them. So nobody should come and raise this flag up. You are not submitting. You are in your marriage. So it is not submissiveness that is keeping you in your marriage. That marriage is staying, is existing for whatever reasons known to you and the person involved. Because you are willing to. So don't make, because I am a woman that self-sacrifice. So I know the meaning of self-sacrifice, self-sabotage or whatever. I did those things. So women, especially those women in marriage, you have to be careful with the word, I'm submitting and I'm enjoying my marriage. No, you are just lucky to find someone that is willing to, like, ìyàwó mi fẹ́ lọ sí school, kí ló tí ò lè lọ sí school? Ìyàwó mi fẹ́ tajà, why not? Why can't she have her own shop or have her own business? I'm telling you, there are Muslim men out there that are telling you that you cannot even be yourself. They will tell you that, oh, they wear color gun, you cannot even wear certain colors, and the moment you start wearing that color, to them you are not submitting to them. Oh, but control ni wọ́n máa sọ. So this idea of submission, erase, especially for women. You are not submitting. You are in your marriage, of course, but you are not submitting.
I get you. I get you. I get that. But you've defined what submission is to you. But then you said you're supposed to be responsible to your husband, not responsible for your husband. Can you
No.
paint the picture of what being responsible to means compared to what being responsible for is? What's the difference?
So personally for me, I am someone that is so big on emotional intelligence and character development. For a very long time, women, the training we got, it to be like, you better be like this. You be going to your husband's house. Is this how you be doing your husband's house? There is no sense of autonomy in the trainings that we receive from our parents as a girl child. Like, why am I receiving this training? Do I want to become a good person, or a good doer, or a bad doer when I grow up? So it's all about ṣe because of your tó bá máa fi délé ọkọ ẹ̀. Whereas character development should be a personal thing. This is how I want to live my life as like human being. So do I want to be a good person? So even if I meet Brother Yusuf, I'll be good to you regardless. Even if Musa is my husband, I'll be good to him regardless. So I am so big on you, like, you have to be responsible. Be responsible to your partner. Do right by the person. Whatever it is that you don't want to be done to you, don't do it to them. Don't. And this excuse of obìnrin ni mí, there are some things that are peculiar to women. I hate hearing those things. Nothing is peculiar to you as a girl child. It is either you are doing the right thing or you are doing the wrong thing. There is nothing like ṣọmọ obìnrin ló máa ń nag, obìnrin ló máa ń pariwo, obìnrin ló máa ń wà. No, it's all lies. Those are societal conditioning, and it's like you are telling yourself, you are believing that your mental capacity, you don't have what it takes to be logical, to reason and do right by yourself and the people around you. So if you are responsible to your partner, you do right by the person, and regardless of the kind of person they are, whether they are bad or good, your own default is because you have your own character development, which is your own identity. That is your own agency. That is what you know yourself to be. So there is no way you operate in such manner that you have that sense of ownership as a woman. Your character development is yours. So regardless of what they do, you will still be that person. Here is where you will cross the boundaries. When you want to start being responsible for them, you are crossing your own boundary and their boundaries. So a man that decides that he wants to spite you by getting attention from women or going out to seek women under the guide, as Muslims, to be like, I want to get married, then I'm entitled to 4 women. Okay, but to you, you know that is not capable in whatever, maybe financially, anything Kali that you can think of, he's not. So the moment you start to be like, oh, ní fẹ́ obìnrin kankan, mi ní gbà, mi ní ṣe báyìí, you are crossing his boundaries by trying to be responsible for him. Because all those things that all those reasons that you gave, that doesn't make him to be able to báwo ni fẹ́ sọ yẹn? That doesn't make him
What
qualify to getting second, third, or fourth wives. He should be responsible for that, not you. So if he thinks that he can do it, why should you be the one nagging or stressing yourself? So you want to try to be responsible for the person, something that you are not okay with. But a woman that has a sense of self-agency, that has boundaries with herself and others, you'll be like, okay, is that how you want to live your life? So I will say it live and direct. Do you want to stay in that marriage or you want to leave? Because the moment you want to start snagging and you want him to see from your own perspective that he is not capable of doing those things, you are manipulating him. It's a form of control. Of course, you are the victim because you will be at the receiving end at the end of the day. You will share the resources. That one is even if it's giving you the resources to begin with. So for most of us, we don't have the guts it takes to be like, if this is how you want to be, I can't stay in marriage with you, and you leave. So the next thing we do is that we stay in that relationship, trying to be responsible for them by nagging them. Some of us, you even like tame ourselves to be comfortable in that space. You will start feeling the holes, all their responsibilities. You will carry those responsibilities. So for them, they are irresponsible and thriving. Irresponsible and thriving. You are responsible and suffering. So because you lack boundaries with your own self, you don't have the guts it takes to be like, okay, if this is how you want to live your life, I can't be in such marriages. We Muslim women, and where are we supposed to be responsible for such transgression in our faith? Is that part of being a good woman also? You are responsible for someone that is irresponsible. So that is what I meant by
the
you being responsible for them. So you will start
are
nagging.
you saying? All right, sorry. Are you saying it is irresponsible to? Because I'm just gonna quote the example you made yourself. Like these. Are you saying it's irresponsible for a man who's by your own judgment is not capable of something, and then he feels he's capable of it, and then he wants to go get a second wife? Do you think it's irresponsible or it's
Exactly.
un-Islamic for a man to? You think
I
is that
love the
your
way
thought?
Brother Yusuf came in. You see, he feels is capable and you feel is not capable. So the next thing you want to start doing in that marriage as a woman is to start shouting, nagging, stressing yourself. Girl, lady, woman, what do you want to do with your life? If you feel he's not capable, what? Because we can't be responsible for him. He feels he's capable. Ohun rèé, ohun tó ti sọ yìí, Ọlọ́run á bá àtànábì ẹ̀ gbà á láàyè. He is entitled to those things. So what are you entitled to? Your peace or what? Because it won't change. I all these things I'm saying, I experience it. So me, I don't even fight. I don't know how to but I don't know how to fight in relationship because
I
it
get you.
is draining. It is draining. So for most of us women, we lack boundaries with ourselves. We have this false sense of self-sacrifice, self-sabotaging. Let me do this. Abi it's my fault that he wants to get another woman. Abi is skinny conny. We start all form of things in our head. We are women. We are doing lots of harm to ourselves, oh, because
Okay, Sister
it's
Tawakalitu,
well,
can I
sha.
ask you what's your what,
It is well. I heard things now. I heard things like from
yeah,
women. I heard
yeah.
things. Ah,
What is your take, or what's your understanding of the verse of Allah in the Quran, Quran 4:34?
mm,
الرجال قوامون على النساء بما فضل الله بعد, like you know the verse yourself, where Allah says men are the caretakers of women, and they're
mm,
supposed to support them financially. So literally or technically, if someone is in charge or is a caretaker of something, it
mm,
means that thing that needs to be taken care of needs that care, and the man is deemed capable by Allah to do that. So when you were talking earlier on, you talk about women think men are superior to them or something like that. So I'm just I want to understand your perspective from that verse of the Quran. If Allah says you are there to manage them, managers from logical reasoning, they're like, okay, this person has certain things that makes him fit for the job. In a way, we may not want to call it superiority because of the sensitivity around the word, but
it
there has
is.
to be some sort of edge.
It
There
is
has to be some sort of edge.
superiority.
It is.
It
Oh, okay, okay. So okay, so
is.
so
It is
what do you
superiority.
think?
It's like I
So
don't know. Allah is very clear. He didn't even use the word superior. Like all of our, he didn't even use the word control. But to men, see,
Allah
where
says
I
they're
used to,
managers, they're
they
caretakers.
are
So
managers, they are kept. That doesn't mean you are superior. Because the moment you feel you are superior to someone, you feel you are better than the person.
hmm,
But I Yusuf, I've got little girls, 7 and more than 4, like above 4. These little girls, I am responsible for them and I am responsible to them because they are little, they are vulnerable. That doesn't mean I am better than them. I parent them, I give them instructions. I want them to listen to me. But I don't feel in me that I am better than them. I provide for them. I nurture them. I do all sorts of things. Still, I don't view my children as less to me. But Muslim men, how come Allah ń sọ fún yín pé you are managers, you are this? How did you translate it to you being better, to you being superior? In my marriage, a Muslim man will tell me that ṣé wọ́n fẹ́ máa figagbága pẹ̀lú ọkùnrin? Bá fún ẹ níṣẹ́ kan báyìí. And I'll be like, really? Your physical strength doesn't make you superior. That doesn't mean you are better than me. Privilege long way. You are just privileged to be like stronger than me. That doesn't mean you should think that you are better than this person. So lot of humility is needed for Muslim men. Humility ó wà needed. Privilege ó yàtọ̀ sí pé bóyá entitlement. You are like, so what you are stronger than someone. Does that mean you are better? So I feel physical strength, I feel shaking, or you are the one providing. Because this thing that you said, like the way you said it, is the way that it is being manifested in the lives of these abusive Muslim men. Finance, it gets to their head. Whatever it is that they are doing, they feel like, I don't, kí ọkùnrin mùsùlùmí máa sọ pé obìnrin lásán, obìnrin àtẹ̀yìntọ̀ lásán, báwo ni idiot yẹn ṣe máa ń sọ̀rọ̀, obìnrin àtẹ̀yìntọ̀, báwo ni wọ́n ṣe máa ń sọ Yorùbá yẹn tó máa fi insult a Muslim
bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni.
woman? Seriously, women are not less. We are not less. Allah created both gender for each other's comforts, not for somebody to feel that I'm superior, the other person is less. We are not less. Be responsible to people, and life will be livable for everyone. You don't live and let others live. But the moment you see yourself as being superior or being better than the person, there is no way you won't encroach in that person's space. Boundaries now are lacking.
It's good.
So
It's very good
your
you.
ability to provide, to manage, it doesn't mean you are better than the person. You are just being like the
That's your role.
your role, like you are. And see, seriously, to this abusive men, it's okay if you don't want to do it. Because personally, for me, I believe when it comes to financial provision, it is something every able-bodied full adult can do. If you don't want to do it, leave it. But to me, your financial provision doesn't make you better than me, doesn't make you superior. Humility are necessary. I am not better than a crippled person that is on the wheelchair. We are all humans. So nǹkan tọ́lọ́run bá ń sọ kọ́ nìyẹn. He is our creator. If you want it that way, ó máa lò ó bẹ́ẹ̀. It's just a privilege. And if you think you can't do it, it's okay. It's fine. That doesn't mean women are less. And they are
That's
so
not the intention. I'm not. I'm
that's
not
not the
saying women are
intention
less.
now.
I'm not saying women are less. I'm saying, because if Allah makes you a manager upon certain set of people, it places on you certain responsibilities,
Mm-hmm.
which you need to then discharge as the person who's been entrusted with that role. That doesn't mean the role is everything that's needed to live a complete life, because if the woman doesn't do her own part as well, then your own part becomes useless. So Allah
Exactly.
gave each and everyone a role so that we can be complete. You bring your piece, I bring my piece, then we are complete. That's my understanding of what you're saying, right?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Because as women, I don't even know. Some women themselves, they don't even feel their role, maybe like child, giving birth to
Mm.
children. They don't even see it as something tasking, as a task, as a job. Hey, bringing life into this world. Because what I experienced in my marriage was like liability near now. And I would say for a fact, I was bringing in like 30% into that marriage. But just because it feels like the money you are getting is not from your student stipend. Student stipend, they are giving me that because I'm going to school. That is why the government is paying me. And I'll go for work training. We do go for work training. So to him, because I am not going out to like work, he still sees me as a liability, despite the fact that whatever it is I am getting from me being a student goes into that household, like 30% of it, because he earns more than I do. So we have to see what we are bringing as valuable. Women ourselves, see yourself as valuable. See what you are bringing in as valuable. You bringing a life into this world is valuable. You parenting children is valuable. Don't let any man relegate whatever it is you are doing. Àwọn ni wọn ò mọ nǹkan tán ń ṣe. Financial provision, that paper, that financial provision is what they think that they are not better. They are not better. They are not superior. They are not better than you as a woman.
So,
I'm actually saying this to women that are full, like stay-at-home mothers, because the things I've heard. You are not less. You are not less because you are not bringing in anything. Even if you bring 100, an insecure human being will forever be an insecure human being. It doesn't matter, because if he's not able
mm.
to see that dangerous process that you went through, bringing life into, nothing else can. Bring your 100. It won't solve anything.
You've spoken to the aspect of people misinterpreting or utterly just not listening to what Allah is saying in the Quran in terms of the delegation of roles and responsibility in the Quran, based on the verse of the Quran 4:34. Do you think this is the only problem, or do you think there is a cultural tone to it? I mean, where did we go wrong, rather?
Everywhere.
So, so
Everywhere.
So
Everywhere.
where's the culture here? Where's the culture of, because everything you've said up until now is people bringing spirituality into things to just kind of make sure people stay down Where is the culture? Like, where? How is culture being used?
You see, for these Muslim men, they are so hypocritical. They are walking set of double standard. You'll be like, culture Yoruba, culture Shiruku ni o. But when it comes to you picking and choosing to oppress your fellow human being, then you go into that same faith to choose whatever it is you want to use to bring down your fellow human being. Really? Really? You turn weak.
Can you give an example of where a cultural manipulation is being used in a marriage? Like, what's the common theme?
You know, they will say things like, àwọn our forefathers, how do they normally say this they will use a narrative like traditional or whatever. Oh, they used to have lots of women so that they will help them with farm works. They will help them on the farm. They use archaic things that make people feel less. Our forefathers, they don't help their women in the kitchen. Anything that makes you feminine, they internalize it that they have to hate it, and it is part of you. The hormone is in your body as a man, and the hormone, what's it, the testosterone that is in men is also in you as a woman. They don't help them with house chores, they are not domesticated. So personally for me, this cultural whatever, there are different things that they use different cultural, but this aspect of women in our culture, kitchen, you belong to the kitchen. Kebimo, just give birth to children. Men, they are not meant for the kitchen. For those things, I'll be like, what's the big deal? What's the big deal about these things? So we now ask them, but there are these that said, the Prophet Sallallahu did this with his wives. And like, how many of those are this? You know, Nikema pick and choose. That is why, personally for me, but I used to wear, I don't like bringing, like using religious context when talking about all these roles, because no matter how, religion will be distorted. The religion of Allah will be distorted. That is why even when I'm talking about rights or rules, I don't bring Islam into it. I will just ask you basic human decency. What do you owe your fellow human being? Because by the time you start bringing Islam, religion of Allah, you will distort it just to fill your own narrative, because you don't have the humility it takes to like conform to what this religion is telling you to do. They know when to bring the culture whenever it suits them, and they know when to bring religion whenever it suits them. Whenever it comes to, they will even use this Aridalu comment. They are so shameless. They are shameless. But that is what happens when we are dealing with people that are manipulative. They don't rationalize. So personally for me, I don't like to use religion, especially
So,
this religion of Allah. Efọlọ́run baálẹ̀ lórí àga àlárà ìṣẹ́ is there looking at us. So the religion is complete already. So we humans are the one doing all form of distortions to like feel good about ourselves.
based on what you said there, if you don't use religion as a yardstick as to how we live our life, the roles and responsibilities that we owe ourselves, and the rights of our rights we have upon ourselves and we have upon others, then are we not faulting as Muslims?
Personally for me, if I should check my roles, like what Allah intended for me to do as a woman,
Mm,
it's very, very easy for me to do it. I do those things. You understand? I'm talking about
mm,
myself personally. So,
mm.
but I, if Musa is in front of me now, I will not start telling that, won't I won't tell you that. It's your choice. I don't want to manipulate you to change. Don't change. If you don't want to do right by me or do right by yourself, it's okay. So that is what I meant by saying I don't like, because in my marriage then I remember I've never be like, kí Ọlọ́run bá sọ pé kò ṣe pé kíní, because if you don't want to do it, that means you know, but you choose not to. So because the moment I bring what Allah and his prophet said, you start don't distort the message of Allah. it is enough mess that you are fingering my brain as human. So it's another thing to now like start distorting the religion, because whatever it is that Allah asked me to do, it is never something that will sabotage me. It will uplift me. You will feel that inner glow within you. Be responsible to someone, do right by them. But when we
I get you. I get your point. What are the common recurring themes? I mean, you said something like that. You hear things, meaning, people talk to you, people confide in you. What are the common red flags that you see that people use from Islamic teachings within marriage just to, control people or to brainwash people? What are the common red flags you see or you hear about?
submission, patience, good woman, those narratives, very common. And look at the men asking for those things, very uncultured. Egoistic human beings. They hate women, misogynist. They don't like women. So what do you need women for? To feel good about yourself. And religious narcissism is very common within our society. I'm shocked that even these topics, they are not even spoken about on the pulpit and so, because someone that they want that woman to be less, like you need to feel less, or like you have to feel less of yourself. How is a man think that it is appropriate for you to insult your woman and be like, even tí mo bá insult ẹ, ṣó yẹ kí wọ́n dá padà fún mi ni? Obìnrin gidi, a good woman, you are not supposed to like respond to me when I insult you. How? You are uncultured. You want decency in return, but you are not willing to give. But unfortunately for them, because I've heard women, they will tell me that he slapped me, I slapped him back. He did. Hey, this is dangerous. So, but seriously, you want someone that will respect you, but you are not willing to give that respect in return. So you start talking about submission, or authority, and all. So they are transgressors. They are oppressors. They want someone that they will suppress to feel less of themselves under the guise of you offering someone marriage. Because once upon a time, we used to think that, oh, marriage is supposed to bring you all the honor, all the safety, the care, the respect, the whatever it is that you can think of as a woman. It was meant to be a thing of respect. But the thing is, they are literally getting married to women, and they see that as an avenue to project. They will lash out at women, whereas to their brothers, their sisters, their neighbors, they are good humans. But to their women, they feel that it's like fundamentally okay for them to insult them. Because in my marriage, I used to hear something like, if I be like, báwo ló ṣe máa bá mi sọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn? Ó ní ìgbéraga ọkàn ni, o ò rẹrẹ̀ ńlẹ̀ tó bá yẹ pé o rẹrẹ̀ ńlẹ̀, irú nǹkan tí mo sọ yẹn kò pọ̀ jù. But torí pé o ní ìgbéraga ọkàn, you are not able to like, so at some point be like, are sensitive. Whereas this thing is not appropriate. You don't want someone saying that to you. And even that person will be like, but you are not even supposed to tell me that. What to gaslight there? Manipulation, telling that person. A Muslim marriage is a Muslim marriage. So where is the value? Where is the nurturing? Where is the respect? Where is the protection in such dynamic? Because once upon a time we used to believe that as a good girl, if you marry, you do this, so your husband, I used to say that thing, that I used to have this fairy tale Islamite version of marriage in my head, where like when I'm, because we are good by default. Like iṣẹ́ àti ṣe dáadáa síyàn ni, ebi àti mo ṣe dáadáa sí Musa tó wà lẹ́nu. I don't even know why I'm using this Musa example so much today. I don't know why I'm using Musa. So like a random Musa on the street, I'm being nice to you, like I'm being good to you. So why you as my husband, why won't I be nice to you? But these people, they are literally normalizing a setting that they are entitled to trample upon their partners, and their partners are supposed to receive and tolerate such transgressions from them. Because at the end of the day, ṣebí ìwọ ló fẹ́ gbélé ọkọ, you need the marriage more than I do. I can always walk out and be like, go for another person. You will on my tag. You will on my, they say all sorts of nonsense. So it is a very, very recurring um event from Muslim women to say those things about mo dẹ̀ submit ó ní kí n ṣe báyìí mo tún ṣe he even gave me rules he even wrote down they write down rules o they write rules tẹ́ bá rá àwọn rules wọn gan àwọn rules gbẹ̀mígbẹ̀mí something that will choke your life so they write rules for ọmọ ọlọ́mọ someone's child and you sit with such entitlement, that level of narcissism to project such to your fellow member until that person starts feeling themselves as less. They hate themselves. They don't even know who they are. They lose their identity. They lose their sense of being. All because they are into marriage. Submission, control, good woman, all those things, nonsensical. You just can't do right by your fellow human being, period. And I used to tell women this year, it is not okay that you are a good girl. Good girl enough is not enough. If you don't know what you are doing, it is enough that you go into marriage and be like, what if it doesn't work out? In here, if you don't lose yourself, if you don't lose your life. Women are battling with depression, mental health struggles. They've came down with a lot of mental health struggles just because they get into marriage with some psychopath that they feel like it is that woman that they have to lash out to. Verbal abuse, sexual abuse, physical assault, all form of things existing in Muslim marriages. So they will not if they now ask them that why did you assault her physically? Bẹ́ẹ̀mi ṣe máa ń bá yàn wí nìyẹn kò lè máa bá mi sọ̀rọ̀ anyhow now who the hell are you? Someone's child, a grown child. Just because you feel the person didn't talk to you a certain way, so the next thing for you to do, you think it is okay to assault someone physically because in your head you think you own the person. You don't own her. It is not your property. You came into marriage. Marriage ilé wá fún. And women, stop putting yourself less. Stop putting yourself less. Stop spiritualizing. It is not honorable. It is not virtue. Allah doesn't want that from you. Because Muslim women are losing their faith to these people.
That was going to bring me to the next question. Like, given that we're talking about Muslim marriages, do you think the impact then of this experience will if affect their relationship with Allah and herself? Like we've talked about self-worth, but then giving this person is like a picture perfect Muslim brother, this person that I'm thinking, oh, is going to do right by me. What do you think in your experience? I mean, we have lots of experiences and some other things, but based on what you've seen and heard so far, do you think that experience impact people's relationship with Allah, with Islam?
Yes, it does. Because for these women, they have a false sense of self already, and nobody should come and say, wọn ò gbàgbọ́ yé ni. Stop. I know you are trying to defend the religion of Allah, but Allah is not insecure. He doesn't want such defense from you. No. People operate, they practice religion based on their own understanding of the religion. Whatever it is that is being preached to them is what they will internalize and that they will do with. So don't make it seem as if anyone bad boy. No, manipulation, gaslighting, or whatever form of abuse is deeper than that. We cannot trivialize people's experience and be like, bad boy. No. So for these women, because a Muslim brother now, piety, the outward piety, the way he speaks, Hafiz, that woman will lose her guard and be like, ṣebí èèyàn Ọlọ́run ni now. Bó ṣe yẹ kó rí nìyẹn, but unfortunately we are humans. People deal with whatever, they are battling with whatever inside. They have inner battles that they are not yet to reconcile with, that they are even running away with. They don't even know that they have it. So you think, it is spiritualized, like, wow, mashallah. So piety, listen, you've confused it with compatibility. You settle down with that person. And that is not what Allah intended for you. You cannot go and see your parents. You can't see your mother. You can't have a friend. You can't have a job. You can't talk to your neighbor. So you start thinking that is Islam. And he will even provide you with evidences. But I'm telling you, you will always have your own space in Islam. That is why there are different schools of thought out there. If you have a false sense of self as a woman, you won't have clarity to choose what you want. If you as a woman, you believe you are supposed to have a job or career as a woman, and you have that clarity and you have the God to stand up to stand up and be well rooted in such a narrative that I as a woman, I have to be career oriented. If someone come and starts using religion, you will know that it is not Allah's fault. The fault is not with the religion of Allah. It is this person that is trying to like make you bend or mold you into his own perspective. But when you continue to have that false sense of self, you are defining yourself from his perspective, from whatever it is what you internalize, and you have created that image in your brain about yourself. You'll be like, so at the end of the day, when everything is now like to the extreme, you now feel like, kilo tie dey gone. Why am I feeling choked? It is not the religion that is making you feel choked. Misconstruction like
Misconception.
misconception, exactly, thank you. Misconception, distortion is what is happening. So if you as a woman, you are career oriented, be rooted and fight such narrative with your life, because your life actually depends on it. So don't let someone come in and tell you, Emi lokwe, oh, le lossy school. You know you can't settle for that. That's not the religion stopping you from being whatever it is you want to be. It is that person or school of thought, because they want on this space, they have their own space. So that is why I said, if you have a false sense of self as a woman, you won't carry clarity to be rooted and fight for whatever belief you have. There are some women out there that it is until a man tells them that, oh, mashallah Muslimah, they don't even believe they are mashallah Muslimah. To hell with
What's mashallah Muslima?
I don't know. You ask them, because these are the things I've heard. What is your own perception of you? And what are you paying me? Because practically I was called a kafir in my marriage. But it didn't bother me, because Esimi it's like independent in it. Fortunately for me, I had my own shaky periods, but because and this is one beautiful thing about Allah. You don't even need to be performative. Like your connection, the way I build my own connection with connection, whatever this performance that if you have your shaky moments, stay with Allah. Allah will like roll with your creator. Don't operate from these people's perspective that anytime you are making any mistake, that mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní wọ brown colour, wọ́n ní ayé ti fẹ́ sí mi, because I had my own moments with those things too. So women we practically talk about color or talk about seeking career, like they will label them with all sorts of tags and it affects them. And I be like, this is not the fault with Allah. Ọlọ́run bá kọ́ ló ń restrict yìí. It is human. Like a certain school of thought, a certain narrative is the one restricting you, not your creator. So you as a woman, you have to be grounded in yourself. Grounded. Operate as an independent being. When it comes to your faith, your life, your choice, everything you want to do. And you have to be responsible to other people. What you owe them is responsibility to them. And anytime somebody is bringing something that doesn't conform to your feelings or what you believe about yourself, then you should know that it's not going to work. Else it will affect you, affect your faith, affect everything around you. You start performing. And let me tell you, whatever it is that you put out there, if your internal is saying no, it is still no. Because Ọlọ́run bá inú ẹ lórí. So whatever performance you are putting out there is still false at the end of the day.
You talk about people having spaces in Islam, different school of thought and everything. So, in your experience, what role did the community play when things were shaky in your marriage? And merging that with a question to say, what's the role of a community here to stop spiritualizing silence and then encouraging, this healthy, sacred balance. You've lived that life. What role did the community play in that situation when it was happening? And then what do you think should have been done? Because I believe if things weren't good, we wouldn't be here. So what did you see?
I'm even
Where's the
glad
community
that the
lacking?
marriage didn't work out. Like the best thing that happened to me was that divorce. So for the community, I will ask the community now, because our humans are the ones that make up the community. Do they view women as a full human being? Because community is demanding that we suppress, we shrink, we mold, we like shrinking out to make ourselves small. That is what community is demanding from us. So community is not helping. They are not helping. They are not doing anything. The only thing that they want to do is to blame the women and use all these fear projections. Ṣo máa lọ di single mother ni? Ṣo máa mọ bó ṣe ń ṣe àwọn single mother níbẹ̀ yẹn? No empowerment is coming from because see, if it is not fairness and justice, I don't want to hear whatever it is you want to say. But now you are coming in to like intervene in the marriage, and I told you that this person this da 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 da, and you be like, ìwọ náà ló kú bímọ fún, where do you want to go? Where will you now start looking for husband now? Ṣe fẹ́ lọ di single mother ni? Those narratives are nonsensical. That is not what I want to hear from you. This person did this. Are you willing to like sọ pé nǹkan tó ṣe yìí ò dáa? Ìwọ tó jẹ́ obìnrin tiẹ̀ náà lélẹ̀. But they want to make it seem as if you cannot tolerate, if you cannot shrink, if you cannot, I don't know, like tí ready for marriage. Yes, I am not ready for such dysfunctionality, and I will never be ready for it. So community is not doing anything to help. So far, from women I've spoken with, they are not doing anything. The only thing they want to do is to keep women in places that are not healthy for them, and even when they leave, they are not helping, just to blame.
So what you're saying there, if I understand what you said there, is that the community is supposed to play a role of balance to say this is where you went wrong and this is where you went wrong, and then try to
Exactly.
reconcile.
So no one should be
But
the sacrificial lamb. So nobody should feel that is entitled to be to transgress. It's not okay. It is not. Marriage
yeah,
is a sacred thing.
are you still a Muslim?